Hello and welcome to Steve's Backyard Bonsai. Today I have my Last Alberta Spruce. This one is a twin trunk that starts right here, and any way you look at it, the twin trunk side is pretty bad. But if you look at it with this as the front, let me see if you're seeing what I'm seeing. It's not that bad. It's not that bad. It's pretty bad, but it's not that bad. And I like that side better because this side has an oozing sore that we've got to get healing. I'm letting it ooze because that's what trees do when they get a boo-boo. All right, so I also want to go through 3 trees today if I can, and it's all going to be depending on how far along the roots are, except for this one. I'm repotting this one no matter what. This blueberry, I have one going now that has mature branches to the same height, and I'm just getting very lanky growth from it. So this one I would like to repot, and I would like to prune back. Maybe I just have to prune it back depending on how the roots are. It's all been outside. And this grafted ginkgo biloba, Fockert's Select. It's a small leaf ginkgo, which I pruned back severely last year. It's grafted. I tried to pretty the graft up, but I think it's going to be an ugly graft forever. So I might ground layer this, and I would like opinions on ligature versus, this one I might just put another pot up there. Problem is I'm going to get roots down below too. This roots like crazy, the rootstock. And it also sends up very, very healthy ginkgo bilobas. But I put these pebbles on there to kind of help with that. The water goes right through, and I am fertilizing. So also dependent on the condition of the roots. All right, so it's you. I don't know what I'm going to do with you. I want you to see what's growing up on the surface here. You can see that mass of roots. They're very much alive. Who knows where they start? We're going to figure that all out today. All right, here it is with this proposed new front. It slopes down nicely in the back and has a nice surface root. I haven't really explored this. Yeah, I can get a nice straight planting angle. So this will be an informal upright. It's going to start out coming out of the soil on a slant. And I got to figure out what's going on with this root. All right, let me readjust the camera so you're just looking at the roots and what's going on below. And that's what's going to drive this. Okay, here we go. Should come out easily. I don't really care if there are many white root tips. That's pumice. I like that. From a nursery. I'm seeing that stuff that looks like grass seed that all the box stores seem to use nowadays. All right, I'm gonna get a little aggressive with the top in a radial pattern to see what's going on. My root base is there, so I got to see what's going on this side. And I may not change, my idea about upright, but I could change the terrain where it's planted. You know, maybe that wants to be on an incline. I'm liking the fact that this does not look very root active yet. I keep remembering that I have this adjusted differently this time. Normally this tray, which has a high back and a low front, I usually have it with the back in the back, and I look at it and I say, oh, I can't see, you know, the full tree. And then I just said, why don't I turn it? That's what you're looking at now. It's starting to look active there. But seriously, not any white tips at all. Very, very cool. A lot of long stuff, sacrifice root. This is going to generate new roots. Yeah, this was the ugly duckling because of the split trunk. Didn't notice it at the nursery, believe it or not. This was pretty dense. I did a prune on 2 Alberta spruce at once, and you could find that further back on the site. One of these days I will make playlists for all my trees, but that has certainly not been where I need to spend my time. Not in spring anyway. Is that a stone? I hope it's a stone. It's not a stone. I saw that before. I didn't even question it. All right. I'm going to clean up these roots off camera, and I'll be back with you for the root pruning. All right, so I got to acknowledge Lowe's. The soil that this was in was just excellent. It just was free draining, and it allowed for nice fibrous root growth, and it had pumice down at the bottom. Somebody was thinking. All right, so what do I do with this tree? All right. First thing I'm going to do is just cut the long roots away. Just giving it a haircut. Kind of straight across. Kind of haircut my father used to give me. Okay, right here, this part of the root is the high part. Well, there's another high part right here, but this one, I'm just going to start paring it down and pulling away. I'll take this top part off and see what comes with it. Not much. Take this back part off, see what comes with it. Not much. You know, I work on the Alberta spruce a lot because, you know, it's readily available. This channel is designed to get people started and to kind of diminish their fears about bonsai. All right, that's the surface root I want to show. So this potato here has to go. And it's got a lot associated with it. Bummer. All right. This did as well. I'm hoping for regeneration of roots here. I'm going to have to pare this down a bit as well. Let me just start by prettying this side up a little bit. Just kind of getting a, a clean and even cut. That approximates how I want it to look going into the soil. That's a little better. All right, now I'm going to start paring this guy down. I'll start by taking the root hairs off that are coming from it. Got some tangle here. It looks like that'll generate roots down below as well, but so those of you starting out, and you've got a Alberta spruce, a dwarf Alberta spruce preferably, that hasn't gotten too big on your property, and you always look at that and say, "Whoa, I've seen people do things with Alberta spruces," and you want to make a bonsai, that is an ideal tree to start on. Many will die, I can tell you that, but they're so, at certain times of year, I don't want to be in your way. At certain times of year, they are readily available. And you can pick some up quite inexpensively. If you've had that experience, leave a comment below. Here's a root growing up. And take that off. These heavy duty roots, do I need them? Do I need any of them? I'm going to keep this one. Maybe not, because it goes down pretty low. I can keep part of it. All right. Working down this heavy root that's kind of growing up. Where does it come from? Oh, I had gotten it. This root, which is kind of growing up. Okay. Cut some of the wispy stuff away now. The stuff up high. Little root hairs. Now that feature root goes down, and that's the one I cut off. So I'm going to cut it a little shorter. I am in love with this tool. Just a nice heavyweight piece of stainless steel with a very, very sharp tip, which I blunted because it was so sharp. Okay, nice. Nice, nice, nice. I can get so close in there and knock out that old soil with this tool. It's wonderful. If you have the patience, which I do. Okay, I've got a flatten this out somehow. Thing that comes to mind right away is this root, which I will cut very short, hopefully right at its origination point. How has that helped me? Somewhat. I've still got to take more off of this side. And this big root right here, I'm going to take off just as it starts to turn around. It's got a piece that extends out and then goes down. I'll deal with that later. This root's giving me a little bit of a problem with getting a flat root base. I want to be real careful here. I don't want to overdo this. I want this tree to live. I want all my trees to live, because I want you new people out there, or those who have given up on Alberta spruce. I mean, how often do you get a tree that is offered to you at a good price multiple times a year? It's a great, if at first you don't succeed, try again tree. Now this one goes straight down there. I'm sorry if I'm getting out of frame. I forget. Apologize to all you people who are cursing me out as we speak. Got a knob down on the bottom here. I've cleaned it out so well, I don't mind using my good tools down here. I know I'm not going to hit a stone. Yeah, okay, that helps me radial out this tree. And I'm looking at it as if I'm planting it now. I've still got to clean up this bottom. So, soil line's got to be here to cover that scar. A couple more I want to cut. That one. Okay. Once again, I apologize for going out of frame. Luca, you're underfoot. All right, let me find a pot. See if I have a Treeigami pot I can put this in. I'm going to order more of those pots. I really like them. All right. Let me look at pots, and I'll come back with a couple, maybe, or if I've decided, I'll come back with it. Put this back in water. All right, so this is the pot I've decided on. So right there, I poked a hole through, and I'm gonna have to wire this down. But I think this pot will work. Let me just trim up those roots radially. Just taking the long ones off. Keeping it moist. Let me get the wire in the pot, get it ready. Actually, let me get it through the hole first. Should be very easy to do. Done. Base layer of soil, and then I'll poke it through. All right, just so I don't waste wire, I'll make one side short. Get a little more soil in the pot. And then position it. Just trimming a few more roots. You know, just so that they have initially some space to grow. Keep them moist. Let me get the soil on this. I'm going to work that soil in. Okay, now I've got to start tightening up on these wires. All right, now I'm going to cinch down on those wires. I got to raise this over my head. I'm going to kill myself if I'm doing it, just so you guys can see it. You know what I'm doing. Securing the pot. I'll use my Nip-X. I usually save that for thicker gauge wire, but it's handy. The other one isn't. Bend this under. And put a little more soil. This is going to be the front I'm looking at. And I'm using my copper soil scoop, courtesy of Patricia from the Bonsai Balcony in Alameda, California. go to her channel. She does a late night Saturday show that I'm trying to stay up for. And like and subscribe to her channel. She does long format things on really cool trees that she's got on her balcony that are pretty amazing for the amount of space that she has to work with, and the fact that she has to, you know, she has to comply with the rules of the complex where she lives. Very nice. So subscribe to her channel too. Let's get her over the top. All right, I think that's it. I'll get a good front on this and a good shot. And we'll say goodbye for this time. Okay, this is the front I've chosen for this tree. It's straight up in this view. I've got to adjust it. I've got to adjust it in this view. And I think I still can. What I'm doing is just creating new voids and filling them instantly, which if I just over pull in one direction, when it springs back. Oh, this is great. Got a big cavity here to fill. Feel like a dentist. Okay, I've corrected for its sideways tilt. That's the back of the tree with that wound, which looks a lot better since I started pressing it with my finger. That was unexpected. I'm coming back to the front. I'm going to give it a little bit more soil. I dunked this a couple of times off camera so that the soil really soaked in. And I'll do that again. And back to the front, somewhere there. All right, that's it for the Alberta spruce. Wish it luck. And thanks for keeping me company in my backyard.